V. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, there you go. It is so true. It does not matter who the host is. Today is Friday, April the 29th of 2022, day 119th of the year. And what does that mean? That means that we have 246 of these things remaining before we get it all over with. Anyways, I hope everything was fantastic. You did not stay up too late watching the new episodes of the Ozark last night. And there you go. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Radio. Really? Is it Radio Big or is it Safety FM? I'm so confused on what I'm saying. You know, the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then we're hanging out with those people at Radio Big.
Radio Big.
So there you go. That's what we have going on right away. So a lot of stuff going on today. Today's Freeform Friday. So in case you want to hang, bang, and do all that kind of fun stuff, you can jump into the chatty. If you'd like to do so, all you have to do is go to callinradio.com, callinradio.com, and that will get you processed through the whole thing, and we'll get moving and grooving and all that kind of fun stuff. So don't worry about that. We can get you moving inside of there, which will make it some fun times. That is for sure. Yes. Alan Wolford, the Ozark is back. Yes, part two. The finale is here with 6 brand new episodes. There you go. There's my little Netflix plugs going on right there. Anyway, so let's start getting right away into what is trending. Yes, we need to start talking about what is trending outside there, inside of the world right now. So there you go. Draft day and NFL draft were trending on Thursday as the NFL draft started heading up. So there you go. In honor of the National Superhero Day, yesterday some social media users shared their favorite superheroes and or actors that have played them. Others shared photos of people in their own lives who they consider to be superheroes. So there you go. That was trending as well. Colin Kaepernick was trending on Thursday after the owner of the Las Vegas Raiders said that he would welcome the controversial QB with open arms to his team. So there you go. And then last but not least, this was going on too. James Gordon landed in Twitter's top 10 trends yesterday after he said that this is it. He signed for another year and he is leaving the Late Show. The Late Show. So just in case you did not know, that is going on inside of the world of the trends. So there you go, right there. Some stuff amazingly going on in that particular neck of the woods. So if you're new to the show, let me kind of explain to you how this kind of layout goes. It goes something along these lines. We talk about safety in the news and safety, and then we blend and gel all those kind of things. It is Freeform Friday, so it will be everything, everywhere, and I kind of go all over the place with it. Like right now, I would normally start telling you what is going on inside of the world of the charts, so we can do that right away. So let's do this. New to Amazon Prime is I Love America. So there you go. That came out today. New to HBO Max will be House of a Thousand Corpses. If you have not watched that one, well, it's a definitely intriguing one if you have not seen it. And you must love horror movies just to be able to do so. Also was The Blair Witch Project and The Devil's Rejects. House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects are all sequels to each other. So just in case if you do see some reoccurring characters. New to Hulu will be Crush and Permanent. So there you go. And the new to Netflix, as I already talked about, is The Ozark Part 2 of Season 4. And then Honeymoon with My Mother, which that sounds scarily disgusting at the same time. And Rumspringa Rumspringa. Don't ask me what that is because I have no clue, but that's actually the new things that are going on with the VOD services if you're so inclined to find out and do all the fun stuff that's going on right there. By the way, I guess I don't talk about it a lot, but every once in a while when Alan Wolfer does pop up into the little boxy over here, we should probably talk about his show, Diary of a Bald Man. If you have not taken a listen to that on your favorite podcatcher, you should probably give it some thoughts on doing so. You can get to listen to Alan sit back and talk about the journey and how things have worked out for him from every aspect of his life. I don't think that there is a thing that he will not touch on there, just in case. So let's start getting into it. Let's talk about what is going on inside of the world of the news. So we'll bring in the professional broadcasters that know what the hell they're talking about, because you know that sure as shit, I have no clue what I'm talking about half of the time on whatever I'm doing right here.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. President Biden could take more action today to help Ukraine fight for its freedom. He's expected to sign a measure that will make it easier for the U.S. to send military aid and equipment. A mass evacuation is planned today in the war-torn country. The country's military will attempt to save hundreds of civilians and 600 soldiers trapped hardest in the city. Raf Sanchez on the front lines.
If true, that would be an enormous, almost miraculous development for the women and children who are trapped underneath there. Now, of course, the Russians have a say in this. They have reneged time and time again on promises of humanitarian corridors. There is nothing official from the Russian side yet as to any evacuation.
The group has been holed up in a steel plant for days and said to be running out of food and water. Efforts are said to be underway to find the body of an American killed in Ukraine. Mark Mayfield reports.
Willie Cancel was a former Marine working with a private military contracting company. His mom says he died Monday after being sent to Ukraine in March to help soldiers fight Russia. She told CNN her 22-year-old son wanted to contain the war so it didn't spill into the U.S. The State Department says it's aware of the report and was monitoring the situation closely.
President Biden is set to make a decision on student loans in a couple of weeks. Trey Thomas reports.
Biden has already confirmed he's considering reducing more student loan debt.
I am not considering $50,000 debt reduction, but I'm in the process of taking a hard look at whether or not there will be additional debt forgiveness.
Republicans argue such a move would create a tax burden. As it stands now, the freeze on loan payments will end August 31st.
Crews are battling 4 new wildfires across the nation right now. They sparked in Alabama, Florida, Nevada, and Texas. That makes 14 total, with New Mexico still working to contain the most at 5. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Authorities in Beijing have closed down schools in a sign tougher curbs could be on the cards for its latest COVID-19 outbreak. Ukraine says it's hoping to evacuate civilians trapped at the Azovstal steel plant in Mariupol today. The UK government's under pressure to suspend an MP who's accused of watching pornography in the House of Commons chamber, and India's severe heatwave continues with power cuts worsening conditions for millions.
Rated R Safety Show. Sarcastic? Never.
Oklahoma is one step away from having the strictest abortion law in the nation. The governor is expected to sign a ban on ending pregnancies after 6 weeks, the same as in Texas. The House approved the bill yesterday and sent it to his desk. Loud booms and vibrations felt by thousands of residents across Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas early Wednesday morning were caused by a meteor. Brian Shook reports.
The confirmation came from NASA, which reported yesterday that the space object traveled at speeds of over 55,000 miles per hour. That's before it broke up into multiple pieces over a swampy area north of Minorca, Louisiana.
Google is taking requests to remove search results with personal information. More from Matt Mattinson.
The search engine now has a form users can submit to hide pages that show information such as phone numbers, home addresses, or personal images. However, results won't automatically be removed. Requests must be considered, and there must be an explicit or implicit threat of abuse for it to go through. Google told Reuters it expects to accept a higher percentage of requests.
Today is the last day to cast your fan vote for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So far, Duran Duran is leading the official vote for the class of 22. This year's inductees will be announced next month with 17 nominees to choose from. The new members will be chosen by a body of over 1,000 artists, industry members, and rock and roll historians. The San Francisco Parks Department is addressing the city's rat problem with birth control. Dina Kodiak with more.
Officials say they've been using Contrapest, which is a sugary and fatty milkshake that rodents apparently love. After ingestion, it disrupts fertility for both females and males. The liquid birth control quickly breaks down in a rat's system and is not harmful to it or animals who end up consuming the treated rodents. Up to 15,000 vermin a year can be produced from one rodent couple and their offspring.
Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves. Only on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. A lot of information going on inside of this world of ours. 16 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging and banging on this lovely Friday. So let's start talking right away about some of the things that we are seeing across the multiverse of ours, as we have a lot of info. At least 200 children worldwide have experienced sudden liver disease in recent months, in some cases requiring hospitalization and liver transplants. I don't know if you heard about this. Bloomberg reports that the lockdown and isolation likely weakened their immune responses to sickness and viruses that they normally would be able to fend off. Meanwhile, the measles have increased by 79% globally because of the delayed vaccination, because science, in science. Just what you have to take a look at. So now, besides the COVID thing, and you have some other things going on, there has to be some lookout for some of the other aspects of things that are going on inside of the world. Well, I guess that makes it kind of an interesting one for sure as we are talking. Anyways, let's continue. A Texas farmer and rancher has offered Elon Musk 100 acres of land for free north of Austin to move the Twitter headquarters onto it. Musk move the Tesla production HQ to Austin from Palo Alto, California last year. So is the thing done? Like, is the deal done with Musk and Twitter? Because I was reading some other things yesterday. It will make it interesting if it does not go through. I think that will be a different story to talk about. But let's see what happens first before we start getting into all that kind of funny honey business, because you never know around here what's going to happen. Anyways, some other things. Should we matter of fact, should we just bring John Smalls in real quick before we get into the American economy? I think that that's what we probably should do. Let's bring some John Smalls inside of here real quick. Let him tell you about the market beat, and then we will get into our economy conversation.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Friday, April 29th, 2022. Equities rebounded strongly Thursday despite a much weaker than expected GDP figure. The first read on Q1 2022 GDP came in at negative 1.4% versus the expected gain of 1%. The news was largely shrugged off by the market, but it's not a data point to be complacent about. With the economy already contracting versus last year, there's a real chance the FOMC could and will throw the U.S. economy into a recession when it begins raising rates. The question that needs to be answered is if it will be a hard or soft landing, and the evidence is mounting for a hard landing. The real risk for the market today is the read on the PCE price index. If PCE prices continue to rise at the pace they have been, or hotter, the Fed will have no choice but to act quickly and aggressively to fight inflation, and we don't think the market is pricing that into stocks yet. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one, letting us know what is going on inside of the market beat. So let me kind of give you some other side of some info here. The American economy contracted its first quarter, a shocking development amid rising prices across the board, and a bad sign about damaging effects of unchecked inflation. But just one quarter isn't enough to call it a recession. It would take another quarter to make it a designation official. Meanwhile, the Russian ruble has now not only recovered, but has doubled its value against the euro since March. So obviously the sanctions are totally working and everything is fine. Okay, as most of Europe continues to buy their energy products. So some things to think about as we are talking, and some sense of sarcasm, I feel, inside of that.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. In 10 years, After 10 years, Mexican police are able to close the books in what they already appear to be a very cold case. In 2022, authorities discovered dozens of human skulls in a cave near its southern border, but a decade later, DNA test confirms that the skulls are hundreds of years old, dating back between the 900s and the 1200s. Analysts suggest that the remains were part of a human sacrifice at the time. Yeah, I did say a human sacrifice, in case you were wondering. According to the reporting, experts said on Wednesday that the victims in the cave had probably been ritually decapitated, and the skulls were put on display for some kind of trophy rack. Boy, did that turn morbid quick. What the hell's going on this morning? Seriously.
Duh.
Okay, let's continue talking. The science now says that taking a low dose of aspirin a day isn't a healthy way to ward off heart attacks. A report by the U.S. Preventative Studies Task Force says that no net benefit to use daily, to have this as a daily use, and actually increases the likelihood of internal bleeding. At least those of 60 and older. For those between 40 and 49, there is a marginal health benefit to daily aspirin use. Now, I'm going to tell you this because it's going to be easy. The marginal use thing, people are still going to go for it, even if it's a marginal benefit, opposed to it just being something that does or does not work. It's just kind of the way that it goes. Because listen, if I tell you if you eat broccoli all the time, and not picking on broccoli, I'm just saying in general, that it is going to give you a health benefit, there is going to be a pack and a group of people that are going to go out there and say, you know what, I think that I am going to eat broccoli because there is a health benefit associated with it. Just how it goes. Not picking on the broccoli aficionados there. I'm just saying this is how these things happen. So, just something to think about. Anyway, some other things going on inside of the world, depending on how you want to take a look-see inside of here. So let's talk about this because we are talking about sicknesses and all that kind of interesting stuff. Ozzy Osbourne, 73, has COVID. Yeah, 73 has COVID. His wife, Sharon, announced the diagnosis in a tearful interview on Talk TV just 3 days into her talk show. Sharon shared that she will fly back to the U.S. to care for Ozzy, which means putting her show on hold for a bit. No word on his symptoms. Ozzy also has Parkinson's disease. So let me ask, where's Talk TV located? Because that's probably going to be some other things to talk about. So I don't know. It's going to be one of those weird aspects of, how long do you put the show on hold, and can you do it remote? I'm just asking the question because, that's stuff that does come up from time to time. What else do we have going on? What else do we have going on here? Let's see. What else? No winner for Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for $43 million jackpot or a $25.9 million cash payout. A winning Powerball ticket was sold in Arizona. The winner can choose between $473.1 million jackpot or $283.3 million cash payout. Saturday night's drawing will be for $20 million jackpot and a $12 million cash payout, not both. I will tell you, the little town that it was, one of my old bosses was from there, so I decided to give him a look up yesterday just to see if he had hit it big time. He's the kind of guy that has that kind of luck, so I was for sure convinced that he was going to be the dude that won it. Anyway, so let's start talking. Florida home comes with seller's ex-husband. This is not a joke. A home in Florida that is up for sale with an unusual amenity. A man. So this is coming out of Panama City Beach. Trey Thomas explains.
A woman named Crystal Ball is selling her Panama City Beach home with what she lists as her wonderfully rehabbed ex-husband up for grabs. She says if the potential buyer takes on her ex as well as her old home, she'll discount the price. Without the ex-husband discount, the home is listed for just under $700,000. I'm Trey Thomas.
So let me ask the question here. The person that buys the home and they get the discounted price, what do you think the discount is? I mean, I'm just kind of curious. And is there any kind of work that the person does that's going to be there? I mean, it makes it an interesting thing. Not that I'm into like trafficking or anything along those lines. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly goes on with that aspect. Because, if somebody's coming into the home, it kind of reminds me a lot of, here's my other Ozark reference. Remember the old dude that lived inside of the house? But he kind of helped out a little bit. I mean, how does that work? maybe just something to think about. Anyways, let's continue talking. Bird flu detected in humans. A highly contagious strain of the bird flu has now been found in a human being. Paul Rubidoux has more information on this.
The CDC is reporting someone in Colorado has tested positive for the H5 strain of the avian flu. They are saying the person was in direct exposure to the virus while disposing of infected poultry. The individual reported only fatigue as a symptom and has recovered, according to the organization. This is the second case of someone contracting the virus and the first in the U.S. I'm Paul Rubidoux.
Okay, thank you, Paul Rubidoux, for that one, because now we're going to have some questions for sure. Henderson to the Lake State lawmakers on a boat tour for the Great Salt Lake. Let's talk about this. Utah Lieutenant Governor plans to give state lawmakers a closer look to the conditions of the Great Salt Lake next week.
To see firsthand what the problems are and to hear from the people who work there, who know what's happening there, what has happened historically, what is happening now.
Okay, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson will take lawmakers on a boat tour in hopes of inspiring a solution to the lake shrinking water levels. State officials predict that the lake will drop another 2 feet this year due to the ongoing drought. That's created concerns for the economic and environmental effects of letting the lake continue to decline. The legislature passed several water conservation bills during this year's session, including a $40 million measure aimed on getting more water into the Great Salt Lake. Henderson says that Utahns can take immediate steps to help the efforts to preserve fortify the lake.
Conservation right now is the most important thing people can do as we put together these longer-term plans.
Okay, so there you go. Some interesting stuff going on inside of the world there. Let's continue as they're coming in real time. 6-month-old critical after mom drops him from the second floor window. A Brooklyn mother is undergoing a psychiatric evaluation after she dropped her 6-month-old son from the second balcony window in Sunset Park home on Thursday. Noam Layden has more information.
That infant is in critical but stable condition at Maimonides Medical Center with cuts, bruises, and fractures from the 2-story fall. Cops say the mom dropped her 6-month-old son from the balcony and then woke up her husband to tell him what she had done. She's undergoing a psychiatric evaluation today. Noam Layden, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, hold on. So she dropped him with, intent. It wasn't like she accidentally dropped him. It was like an intentional drop based on what it sounds like there. Now, I could be misconstruing the whole thing because whoever knows what I'm talking about.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, so let's get into some other things going on this other side of the world. House of January 6th committee to hold 8 hearings in June. The House committee investigating the January 6th Capitol attack will hold 8 hearings in June. Trey Thomas has more information.
Committee Chair Benny Thompson made the announcement Thursday. The hearings will be slated for a combination of primetime and daytime slots and will tell the story about what happened. Thompson says the first hearing will be held on June 9th. I'm Trey Thomas.
Okay, thank you, Trey, for that one, letting us know what is going on inside of the world right now. So let's talk about this. FDA proposes ban on sale of menthol and other flavored cigarettes. The FDA is proposing to ban all sale of menthol cigarettes. So let's listen to Miss Ellis to talk a little bit more.
Research shows 85% of black smokers use menthol cigarettes, compared with 29% of white smokers. The CDC says smoking is a leading cause of lung cancer. Black men have the highest rates of that disease.
So because menthol and flavor addictive makes smoking less harsh and gives the cooling sensation, the FDA hopes of banning the products that such appeal to help more smokers want to quit. The FDA is especially targeting young smokers with the ban, including other characterizing flavors such as strawberry and fruit punch. Hold on, there's cigarettes that taste like strawberries and fruit punch? I don't get it. I mean, seriously, I'm smoking, that has to be a very weird sensation there. I guess I've just been out of it for quite some time. in regards to talking about this. So let's talk about this because tomorrow is a big day. We talked briefly about it yesterday. Let's talk about it one more time. Saturday is Prescription Drug Takeaway Day. National Prescription Drug Takeaway Day is tomorrow. Trey Thomas has more information.
The twice-a-year event is an opportunity to safely get rid of expired, unused, and unneeded prescription medications and keep them from being abused. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration organizes and coordinates Prescription Take-Back Day. Information about locations and times to drop off drugs is available online at dea.gov/takebackday. I'm Trey Thomas.
Okay, thank you, Trey, for letting us know that one as well. It is currently 31 minutes past the top of the hour, just in case you're wondering what the hell was going on, because we always want to talk about it. That is for sure. Anyways, take a listen to this. American killed in Ukraine. An American and former Marine fighter fighting Russians in the Ukraine is dead. Let's talk a little bit more about what's going on.
According to his family, 22-year-old Willie Joseph Cancel had been working for a private military company in the country since mid-March. His mother telling CNN he wanted to go over because he believed in what Ukraine was fighting for.
His body hasn't been recovered. He leaves behind a wife and a 7-month-old baby. A 7-month-old baby, as we are talking in regards of that. Just amazing, just some of the things that we get to hear as we are doing these things and talking about what is going on inside of the world. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Really don't. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things. 7th grader in a fight for her life. The 7th grade student Roselle from Roseville Middle School, who was hit by a car Tuesday at the intersection near the school, is fighting for their life, according to their family. Julia Wallace suffered a traumatic brain injury, and Aunt Julianne DeBalwu says that they're not giving up hope.
We are going to fight for her until whatever happens, happens.
There was no stop sign or crossing guard there when she was hit. Julianne says that she don't know the future of her niece.
Even if she wakes up and all of her organs she's in stable condition other than her brain.
No, I mean, and believe me, if anything about traumatic brain injuries, I'm very familiar with how the process works, and it is a rough time for the family because you just don't know what's going on while you're sitting there waiting as the time goes by. Let's continue talking. Second LASD official files claim of alleging Villanueva orchestrated a cover-up. A second high-ranking Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department official has filed damage claim against the county, claiming that the sheriff, Alex Villanueva, orchestrated a cover-up. Villanueva had little to say yesterday about it.
We're more than happy to resolve this in court. Looking forward to it. We're going to present all our facts in court.
The sheriff is accused of hiding video that shows the deputy kneeling on the back of a handcuffed inmate head for about 3 minutes. Former Assistant Sheriff Robin Limon joins the commander Alan Castellano in a similar claim last week. Limon says that Villanueva retaliated against her during his cover-up attempt. The incident happened on March of 2021, but the sheriff says it didn't see the surveillance video of what happened until November. Limon says that she watched the video with Villanueva in his office 5 days after kneeling incident happened, but he lied and created a fake timeline narrative about what was going on. Interesting stuff, that is for sure, as we are talking. So you change the timeline, hypothetically, in regards of what was going on, and then give another timeline narrative. Boy, does that stuff sound all familiar. Anyways, you are listening to the Rated R Safety Show. It is 34 minutes past the top of the hour. We got some more stuff coming your way. Just don't vanish too far. No, seriously.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes.
But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things as mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you. Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you. Okay, it sounds like he doesn't give a... well, there you go. Anyways, that was Plano. This song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes. What do you think he's trying to say there anyways? So anyways, this was We Don't Give a... And that's really what it's called. We don't give a. It's not that I'm not trying to say it. Well, this is Popolino. Thank you for letting us play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. I guess we had to make it Rated R somehow this morning. Oh, there you go. You know, we are broadcasting on Safety FM and Radio Big. Doing our thing. Thanks to Popolino for allowing us to play this one. Anyways, let's get back into the move and the groove of stuff that is going on inside of this lovely world of ours. Anyway, so let's talk about some movies that are opening at the box office today, in case you're wondering. Memory R, caught in the memorial queerdom of an expert assassin, refuses to complete the job and violates his code. That's out today. Firebird, during the Cold War, a young Soviet soldier who dreams of becoming an actor in Moscow has his life turned upside down as he locks in with a sexy, enigmatic fighter pilot. So there you go. And then Aviary is another one that comes out today. Let's see. What do we got? Lured by the promise of freedom in an isolated desert campus, the woman desperately tries to escape the clutches of an insidious cult. So there you go. Those are some movies that are out today. If you really want to go out to the movies and watch some things and you really just have nothing better to do. There you go. So let's start talking who juiced in your cereal. What? Yeah, you heard me. Are you ready for this? Yes, Tropicana has announced a new cereal designed to be eaten in a bowl with orange juice. Yes, you heard me correctly. The company, see, even Siri was even thrown off by it. The fruit company says that followers of Instagram page that will have the chance to win a box of Tropicana Crunch. Describes as the first cereals made for orange juice and maybe the last. On its website, Tropicana said that the honey almond flavored concoction prepare your mind for cereal bowl for an unforgettable breakfast experience. Specific with the giveaways will be revealed on May 4th on the Tropicana Instagram page. I've got to admit, when I was younger, there was no milk in the house. I used to put orange juice on cereal and watch Saturday morning cartoons. God, I miss my bachelor's days. And stay tuned because they're going to come up with a toothpaste chaser because there's just no other way around it. And I am ready for this. I don't think anyone is ready for this. Seriously. Nobody can be ready for that. That just sounds weird.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let me tell you real quick about the most important thing that I will ever tell you if we get to hang out, if we get to ever do anything together, and this is what it sounds like. Let me tell you about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to afsp.org. That is afsp.org, or call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255, or text the word TALK to 741-741. That will get you moving and grooving, going that general direction. Listen, just because the information may not be something that you need, you might know someone who needs the information. So it's always good to be able to have that source to be able to do so. Like I said, go to afsp.org or call 1-800-273-8255 or text the word TALK to 741-741. Listen, all kinds of stuff on there. Things about real stories, how to get help, how to make a difference. Join a local chapter and learn the factoids about what is going on in that section. Seriously, so all kinds of stuff that you're able to do if you are so inclined to do so. Anyways, let's talk about some news of the weird, because it's been some times. A popular YouTuber has had his pilot's license revoked after intentionally crashing his plane and filming his parachute escape for views. In November, Trevor Jacob, an Olympic snowboarder turned YouTuber, crashed his small propeller airplane in the mountains of California in Los Padres National Forest. The exact moment that his propeller stopped working was caught on camera as he jumped from the plane and deployed his life-saving parachute. 3 weeks later, he posted a YouTube video titled, "I Crashed My Plane," which quickly went viral. Amazingly, over 2 million views, followed by a probe. The FAA revoked his license, pointing out that he never tried to restart the plane, and then had attached multiple cameras to the exterior of the plane before takeoff, and he just happened to be wearing a parachute. Stupid is, stupid does, my friend. In regards of that, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things that you kind of take a look at it and go, why in the hell would you crash a propeller airplane on purpose with the intent for YouTube views? Like, seriously? That's what we're going with? Okay. Cool for you. There you go. Cool. Anyways, a woman was rescued by two fire crew after falling headfirst into a vault toilet while trying to retrieve her cell phone. We talked about this as a Park of Washington State. I got some more information on this because I was so intrigued. The woman in her mid-40s was using the outhouse at the Mount Walker, a popular destination for hikers, when the accident occurred. A vault toilet is a waterless, non-flushable toilet commonly used for outdoor locations, so named because they store waste in an airtight vault underground. After dropping her phone, the phone, disassembled the seat and the housing of the toilet and then used the dog leash to try to fish it out. But the attempt failed, and she slid into the toilet. Fortunately, after about 20 minutes inside of the vault, she was able to find her phone and give a call. She was uninjured, and I have heard her using the phone on the toilet before, but I have never heard of anybody using the phone in the toilet. And I'll tell you the reason why we looked more into this, because I was like, they described it as a latrine, and then I kept on seeing things about a vault, and I was like, what is a vault and what is a latrine in regards of difference? Because I don't want to be using anything that is considered a vault. That just sounds oddly odd.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show. Okay, so let's talk about the most viewed YouTube videos of all time. In case you were not aware of this, let's talk about it. I don't know, should we go backwards order opposed to, 10 to 1? Let's just go 1 through 10. Baby Shark Dance has 10.53 billion views. Despacito has 7.82 billion views. Johnny Yes Peppa has 6.31 billion views. Shape of You by Ed Sheeran has 5.69 billion views. See You Again by Wiz Khalifa, 5.8 billion views. Let's see. Bath Song by Coco Melon has 5.27 billion views. Phonic Song with 2 words. Boy, I'm glad it didn't say 2 girls and I forget it. 4.58 billion views. Learning Colors by Colorful Egg Farm, 4.56 billion views. Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars, 4.5 billion views. And Marsha and the Bear, A Recipe for Disaster, 4.49 billion views. I'm just happy that the obsessive watching of Bridgerton hasn't caused it to show up here, because that could have been something entirely different. Anyways, it is 48 minutes past the top of the hour, so let's go into some conversation here about talking about the Motivation Minute.
Is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. There's a great anonymous quote that says, "Blessed are those who can give without remembering and take without forgetting." Now, I'll admit, I had to play a little mental hopscotch to understand this one. Now, this is how I understood it. It's awesome to give without expecting anything in return. And it's also awesome to be super thankful to others when they offer you assistance. I think that's a solid plan. And I'll tell you, if you have the means to give, it's an amazing feeling to help someone who you don't expect anything from whatsoever. And if you're blessed in that way, be sure to be thankful for that too. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by alasamorgan.com. Let's take a quick moment to talk about the dynamics between storing fat and consumption of carbs and fats. Carbohydrates can store as fats, and fats can store as fats. Low-carb approach tends to be the most effective way for most people to manage weight, yet there is a couple of important things to remember. When overconsumed, emphasis on over, fats store as fat easier simply because there is less work for the body to convert them to fat. Converting carbs to fats involves a multi-step process, but that's short-term. Long-term, over-consuming carbs has a much worse impact on the body because it messes with the insulin baseline. So if you're on a low-carb diet or keto diet and you struggle with losing weight, one of the first recommendations is usually to reduce the fats by 10 to 20% and see how it helps. For more, check out alessamorgan.com.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. All of us have known friendships destroyed by anger, as well as parent-child relationships, not to mention marriages. I'm convinced that nothing other than infidelity kills love faster than out-of-control anger. As children, we used to say, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me." Now we know better. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but angry words can kill me. Are you giving vent to your anger, or are you speaking words of life to your relationship? Proverbs 18:21 said, "Words kill, words give life. They're either poison or fruit. You choose." Help us, Lord, to speak words of life and not death. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. 51 minutes past the top as we are giving you a blend of all the things that are going on inside of the world here. Anyway, City Hall gives up on a bid to build homeless shelter in the heart of Chinatown. New York plan to build the homeless shelter in the heart of Chinatown has been scrapped. Neighbors held rallies against the proposed 49-bed shelter in Madison Street, arguing that there would be too many in Lower Manhattan already.
You cannot do that. That's enough. Is it because we are Chinatown? That's why you build in Chinatown?
City officials say that they dropped their shelter plans after hearing concerns of the neighbors in Chinatown. So there you go. Some information that is going on inside of the world there. Pinwheels planted at the SLCO Government Center for Child Abuse Awareness. Salt Lake County officials are using thousands of pinwheels to draw attention to the number of children abused or neglected in the area. Jocelyn De La Rosa of the nonprofit Family Support Center says Utahns shouldn't stay silent when they're subject to abuse. Of child abuse that is happening.
It's better to be on the safe side and then offer support to that family.
Okay, over 3,700 pinwheels were planted in the Salt Lake County Government Center yesterday. The event is designed to honor the victims and encourage people to report suspected abuse or neglect to the Police of Child and Family Services. De La Rosa says that reporting possible abuse can help too to families that are in need.
We know that a lot of the abuse and neglect happens because of socioeconomic issues and systemic issues that are happening. And so we know that the communities that are the safest are the communities that have the most resources.
Okay, thank you very much for letting us know what is going on out there. So let's continue talking about some other things. Let's take a look real quick. Showbiz, these albums dropped today, just in case. Action Bronson has a new one with Cordijo Turbo. Block Party has Alpha Games. Cord Lund has Songs My Friends Wrote. Frog Eyes, The Bees, Future, I Never Liked You. Let's see, Miranda Lambert, Palomino. No Cap has Mr. Crawford. PJ Morton, Watch the Sun. Pushisti has Certified. And Rammstein with Zet. And The Head of the Heart with Every Shade of Blue. So there you go. Those are some albums that are coming out today. If you like the music scene, there you go. just for some stuff to talk about. And then director Matt Reeves will give his 2022 commencement address at the USC School of Cinematic Arts. Reeves, who's most recently worked on The Batman starring Robert Pattinson, graduated from the school back in 1988. Speaking of the Cape Crusader, Reeves revealed this week that he is directing an untitled sequel to The Batman. He is also working on 2 spin-off series for HBO Max, The Penguin and The Batman Caped Crusader. So there you go. You'll have a lot of Batman love coming your way if you're looking forward to doing so. So what else do we have going on real quick? Just taking a look around. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Let's take a look. 4 police officers accused of excessive force were to subdue Rodney King following the high-speed car chase 1 year earlier are acquitted. The outcome of the racially fueled trial immediately sparked riots throughout Los Angeles. A white truck driver was pulled from his semi's cab and beaten within inches of his life by angry protesters. The riots continued overnight throughout the next day. Helicopter footage captured much of the chaos and the police standing by while it happened. The 4 cops would stand trial again in August and charged with violating King's civil rights. 2 were acquitted and the other 2 were sent to prison. King would receive $3.8 million payout and then sue his lawyers for the attorney fees that had been awarded, which was dismissed. So there you go. Why would you sue your lawyers? That's kind of a weird thing, but I guess whatever. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today, just in case. Catherine Langford turns 26. Candace Owens, 33. Jonathan Toast turns 34. Jay Cutler, 39. Titus O'Neil, 45. Eric Campbell, 50. Uma Thurman turns 52. Master P turns 52. Michelle Pfeiffer, 64. Daniel Day-Lewis turns 65. Leslie Jordan turns 67. Jerry Seinfeld turns 68 today. Willie Nelson, country singer, turns 89, just in case if you were looking at some birthdays for today. If you're looking for a reason to celebrate, I have some of those for you as well. National Historic Marker Day, National Peace Rose Day, National Shrimp Scampi Day, National Zipper Day. What exactly do you do for National Zipper Day? That sounds interesting. National Arbor Day, National Hairball Awareness Day, and National Poem in Your Pocket Day. Boy, am I so glad that 2 of those days to celebrate were not back to each other, because I would have said something wrong.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so there you go. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to Radio Big exclusively. If you want to come hang out, take a listen to what the hell we have going on, you're more than welcome on doing so. Let me give you some whack facts real quick before we get you out of here. Blue-eyed people tend to have higher alcohol tolerance than those with darker eyes. Don't try that out at a bar tonight, just in case, just as I bring this up. The first artificial Christmas tree were produced by toilet brush manufacturers. They use the same bristles, simply dyeing them green. Interesting. Twitter can handle up to 18 quintillion user accounts. Researchers show that the luxury brands, the ruder the sales staff are, the higher the sales. There you go. Men tend to overestimate women's interest in them, while women tend to underestimate men's interest in them. Interesting. Men who grow beards easily and earlier in life are more likely to go bald. Oh, revenge, how it comes. Anyway, so there you go. Anyways, if you need a random joke for today, I got one for you. People who use selfie sticks really need to have a good long look at themselves. If you need a phone starter for today, try this one. What line or jingle do you remember from an old TV commercial? If you need something for the water cooler, you can try this. Question: 21% of us admit we've done this to end a conversation on the phone. What is it? Yawn. Yawn, that is. Yawn. So there you go. So that's it. That wraps it up. We will be gone until the weekend is over. We'll be back Monday, God willing, in regards of everything that's going on inside of that world. I hope you've been enjoying your week so far. Thank you for taking a listen to what we have going on. We could not do what we do around here without you, the most important part, and that is the listener. If I can leave you with a thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. If there are more people who desire their own happiness more than they desire the unhappiness of others, we would have paradise. Something to think about. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love ya. Mean it. Goodbye. Enjoy your weekend.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.